Welcome to Phong Nha, also known as the Cave Kingdom of the world. This small town hosts some of the biggest and most beautiful caves in the world, and today we'll be exploring some of them.
But first, let's talk about Phong Nha. With a population of around 12,000 people, Phong Nha is a one-street town in north-central Vietnam, surrounded by Phong Nha's National Park and penetrated by Con River.
In today's video, we'll be exploring Phong Nha's most popular activity, cave exploration. But let's go back to how the day started.
We had breakfast at our beautiful hotel, Hang Phat Bungalow. Our bungalow had views to the beautiful landscapes of Phong Nha, and it was pretty much 30 seconds away from Con River. By the way, huge shout out to the host, Sun. He made our stay so special. But anyways, now that we've gained some energy,
the adventure begins. The tour we booked consisted of visiting 3 landmarks: the Botanical Garden, the Paradise Cave, and finally the Dark Cave. There are lots of options for tours in Phong Nha, and we have put a link in the description so that you can check them out. All of this cost us a whopping $60 per person, which was not cheap but definitely worth it. As it was in peak season, we thought there wouldn't be many people. However, we were wrong and this affected the tour, as you will be seeing later on. The first stop on the itinerary was the Botanical Garden.
The drive to the Botanical Garden was beautiful. You could see a layer of greenery covering the mountains, and Avatar was definitely inspired on this views. Nah, I'm joking, King Kong.
Within the Botanical Garden, you have a 3-hour hiking trail where you can go sightseeing and appreciate the forest and fauna. However, as the main focus of the tour were the caves, we only had time to see the display house and the waterfall. This place is recognized as the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and there's over 9,000 species. So there's no way we're not going to see one today.
And what the lady was saying is that they rescue animals from the national park and then they put them here as a safe space. And we are talking about animals such as leopards, gorillas, monkeys.
However, because the animals in the past have become too friendly with tourists, they decided to close it off for tourists. And now we've got a 45-minute hike through the jungle to reach the waterfall in Crocs. This is the top of the waterfall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hiking down to see, follow that point.
Okay.
If you don't want to stay there.
Okay, thank you. Come on. Is there any animals in the water?
Have some fish.
Oh, just fish.
And
Oh, okay. Frog.
crab.
Oh, crab. Oh, okay. I didn't know it was going to be crab. We're at the top of the waterfall, so now we're going to climb all the way down to see it from underneath. But before, let's look at the views from up here.
It also doesn't look like an easy walk. There's a lot of rocks, not flat at all. And if you are wearing Crocs like us,
Could
you
be
may
a bit
slide.
slippery.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's a bit of traffic.
This is a turning point for many people, but not for Karma Adventures. Never.
Well, unfortunately, as most of the group was turning back, the tour guide decided that that was enough time at the Botanical Garden. And instead of spending 40 minutes hiking, we only spent 20 minutes. Therefore, we left without seeing the waterfall. Anyways, continuing with our itinerary, the next stop was the Paradise Cave, 30 minutes away driving.
I think we're the only ones. Of course not. The Paradise Cave was the busiest attraction of the day. But coming to this cave was incredibly worth it. Ciao. Come on. From the entrance, they then took us to the bottom of the mountain by buggy, which was a fun ride through the forest.
As we arrived to the meetup point, the tour guide explained to us the history of the Paradise Cave. We spent around 15 minutes learning about the cave and its features, which we will explain whilst we discover the cave. The Paradise Cave has also been named the most beautiful dry cave in Asia, so buckle up to see this underground oasis. We are now walking to the Paradise Cave, and it's such a long hill. It should take around 15 minutes to walk.
I'm sweating so much. And something really interesting is when you go inside the cave, you should take a moment to adjust your body to the temperature because it's so hot out here and the cave is about 20 degrees, which is about 10 degree difference in temperature.
And you don't want to be getting a heat stroke.
We're here and I can already feel the cold. There's a super cold breeze coming out. It's a very narrow hall, so we're gonna have to duck to make it inside. The entrance to the cave really surprised us. We're not sure what we were expecting, but it was definitely something less raw. Some piece of advice is if you are Max's height, watch your head. They weren't joking, it's massive. Very intricate system of stairs.
Paradise Cave was discovered in 2005 by a local, and he didn't only discover this cave, he also discovered the biggest cave in the world.
And Paradise Cave is also the longest dry cave in Vietnam. It stretches over 31 kilometers, but today we can only do 1 kilometer. The non-perks of booking a tour. The dimensions of this cave are very impressive. As you walk through the wooden path, you can't stop focusing on all the shapes the cave has formed in the past thousands of years. I think this is a stalagmite. She was saying that basically this cave forms stalactites and stalagmites, and they join together, which forms a pillar or a column. Very interesting. And that right there is the perfect example of a column. And this one here is almost finished. It's in the making, probably another 200 years.
We can now say that we are touching a future column in 200 years.
So we've actually just discovered that the only part accessible to tourists is the 1 kilometer. So it's not because of the tour guide.
And the really cool thing about this cave is all the colors that you can see due to the minerals in the water. So for example, when you see the white color, that's due to the calcium.
And green is because of the copper.
And then the brown color is the mud. And it's also so annoying. We've been walking and every now and then I get a water drop between my neck and my t-shirt and it's so painful.
And cold as well. It's absolutely freezing in this cave. I think coming to this cave is definitely worth it. I just feel like it's a little bit too touristic. So maybe there's a better time of the day to come, a better time of the week.
But now, as part of our tour, we are going to have lunch and then we are going to the dark cave.
And in this cave, we're going to get to do some kayaking, zip lining, and jumping into the mud bath. Goodbye, Paradise Cave. You've been amazing.
We will definitely keep you in our hearts. And and in the Karma Adventures memory book.
We fancy an ice cream, so let's get one. Hello. Can I get an ice cream, please? Yeah, that one. Yeah. Thank you. Is that 35?
35. Thank you.
Thank you. This is actually my childhood ice cream. I can't believe they have this in Vietnam. I used to have them in Brazil all the time. And this is melon ice cream, in case you didn't know. If you haven't tried it, go and get one. It's delicious.
And now I'm going to try Karu's favorite ice cream for the first time. It's got a weird shape, I can't lie. I've never seen a rectangle ice cream lollipop. It smells really melony, if that's even a word. Let's see. So good.
Yay!
So good. Really refreshing.
Yes!
It's mine now. It's mine. Oh. And of course, we saved the best for last. We can honestly say that the dark cave was the most fun activity of today's tour. For lunch, they brought us this very special meal to share with the table on top of a leaf. Lunch was delicious.
And actually very filling. And now we're finally going to the big attraction of the day.
The dark cave.
It caught us by surprise, but we had to sign a waiver. We then got changed, put on the safety equipment for the zip line, and headed to the adventure. But after jumping from the second tallest bungee in the world, this zip line was nothing for us.
Go, risk it. Let's go. Do you touch floor? Are you touching floor?
Give you a tap. It's so cold. Once you get in, it's nice. No, it's actually freezing once you get in as well.
The water was freezing cold, so I had to mentally prepare myself to...
That's where we're going. Can you touch the ground?
I don't know, I don't want to try.
I just tried.
Oh, no,
I
no.
can't. And this is the dark cave. As you can see, it has a huge entry point, which is very difficult to miss. The rest of the video was recorded with our action camera, which I'm very sorry you're going to notice on the quality.
You can only see where we shine. Oh my. Oh my.
The dark cave was first discovered back in 1990, and soon after its discovery, the locals realized that they could open it up for commercial use.
If you're still wondering why it's called Dark Cave, well, it's very obvious. Just look at the cave for 1 second.
The dark cave is approximately 6 kilometers long. To explore the cave, we initially had to walk through very cold water, and we also couldn't see where we were going because it was completely dark. And to add to that fear, it felt like we were going through Batman's cave with all the bats flying around. Even though the dark cave looks very scary, it's a perfect day out for the family, and you can bring your kids along. In fact, there was even a little girl in our tour group, and she looked like she was having the best day ever. And a top tip from us, and we can't recommend it enough, is that you take water shoes with you. The whole group was complaining about their feet hurting due to the pebbles and sharp rocks at the bottom of the water. So Max and I were just flexing on everybody with our water shoes. And let's be honest, even the guide was wearing shoes, so I don't know why they make people go barefoot.
The next step in this adventure was to take off our life vests and walk through the dark, muddy walls of the dark cave. No!
Were you trying?
No, what do you mean was I trying? To be completely honest, this was probably the most fun we have ever had. It was something different, but also something potentially dangerous if you weren't cautious. Due to the mud, the floor and the walls were quite slippery, and you did have to dodge some rocks, but that's why we were carrying the head torches, aka our lifesavers. To make it even more fun, we were picking the mud from the walls and then throwing it to each other. And before we started the dark cave adventure, the tour guide did ask the group if anyone was scared of dark places and tight spaces. So if that's you, probably grab the popcorn and just simply watch this video, because this dark cave is not for you.
Whatever you do, make sure you stick with the group, because Max and I decided to stop and take some pictures and we almost got left behind. And there are different tunnels in this cave that you can end up going to, so don't lose the group. The reason why we were trekking through this cave and risking our lives was to get to the mud pool, which took about 15 to 20 minutes walking. And once we arrived, we soaked ourselves with mud, and there was mud in places that you don't want to know.
Are you sure it was mud?
Arriving to the mud bath, it was so disgusting stepping on the mud. To be honest, we would have loved to jump inside, but the guide did say, be careful not to get mud in your eyes. So I think everybody was a bit put off and nobody laid down in the pool except for us. There was actually someone in our group that was scared of the dark and tight spaces. So someone in our group came up with the brilliant idea of everybody turning off the torches. And then this girl just quickly turned hers back on and ruined the moment for everybody else. But overall, it was a very cool experience, and we did get to see the cave in complete darkness, even if it was just for 1 second.
Wow.
Way! Oh no, the girl didn't like it.
Seeing the light. And finally, it was time to enjoy the water park. We only had 45 minutes of entertainment before we left, however, we made the most of it. And I have to say, Carol nearly killed herself. We got this. Good job. Lie down. Let's go!
Oh. Let's go, boom, let's go. No, no, no. You got it, you got it. Keep going. No.
If you have any questions about the tours in Phong Nha or the city itself, let us know in the comments.
Thank you so much for watching.
And don't forget to
Like and subscribe.